So I just watched a brand new thriller on VOD called Prey. 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 I went on IMDb to see how many movies have this title. I pretty much just stopped counting after like 10. The amount of titles that are Prey is crazy to me. Anyway, so yeah, this is not a Predator sequel. This is a movie about a doctor and his wife, as well as some other tourists who are getting on a plane to fly somewhere in Africa. The doctor's trying to leave. The other guys, I don't even know if we ever find out where the hell they're even supposed to be going. I think they're there with a guide, so I don't know why one's leaving. I think that they've done what they were supposed to do, and this is the end of their tour. I don't really know, because the characters in this are as cardboard cut out as humanly possible, so it doesn't really matter. So they're flying, plane comes down, and they land in lion territory. So they're trying to survive the elements, that kind of movie, similar to something like Idris Elba's last movie, Beast, that came out a couple years ago, and plenty of other, people in the Serengeti or whatever, man versus nature type of film. This movie stars Ryan Phillippe, as well as Mina Savari and Emil Hirsch. I think that's how you say his first name. So you have some pretty big names in this, so that's why I watched it. And God, this movie is just so bad. This movie is so bad. At first I kind of thought, like, it's okay. Like, I was just kind of waiting for things to go down to get my final opinion of the film, but just the more that this went on, the more I was like, wow, this film is so flat. The characters are one-dimensional. They try to have some kind of depth with, like, these archetype decisions and character flaws and whatnot, but they don't really go anywhere. They feel so forced in the end. And, like, Emil Hirsch's character is the pilot, and he's like a bad guy, but he's hiding his real like heart of gold underneath it all, kind of thing. And Ryan Phillippe is this doctor who has been there trying to help the local, like, natives, and he can't handle it anymore because he just can't get the right supplies, and he doesn't have the resources, and he doesn't have enough help, and so he's just mentally spent. And so he's just like, screw it, I'm out. So he quits on everybody, and he's leaving, and him and his wife are there, and they're trying to make something emotional, which is kind of odd, because it's towards the opening of the movie, he's explaining this to her, how he could have saved this kid had he had a stent for the heart. He was like, it's a cheap $10 or $20 stent that would have saved this person's life, but this kid's life, but I didn't have it, and now they're dead. And she's listening to him say this, and they're like side by side looking right at each other as they talk, and it's supposed to be this like emotional moment, but for some reason she has like a slight smile on her face the whole time. I don't know if that was intentional, or if that's like a bad, take that they just happen to leave in. It's weird, but it happens the whole time he's telling his story, and it's kind of like his breakdown. I think maybe she was trying to like be the wife that's like understanding and trying not to escalate, and trying to keep a more positive attitude when he's sad. She didn't want to like match his emotion. She was trying to like I don't know, I'm giving this movie way too much credit, trying to think into her reasons for why she's like kind of smiling while he's telling her a kid died in his arms, and like he's giving up on his dream of trying to help these people. So the smile felt very weird, and I kind of already knew I was having a rough go of it. The movie looks fine. I mean, it looks like a totally fine film, quality wise. Now, there's a good amount of CG or green screen used with the lions, because they're nowhere near the actors or ever in any scenes with them. It's always like they look this way, and then they have them probably walking around on a green screen, and then they like make it look like the location that they're in around them, but you never see them in the same shot. So all of the kills happen off screen. You just hear it from outside, like people are listening to someone screaming, or someone fires a gun and then it cuts away or whatever. So you never see any aftermath. You never see any of the action actually take place. And then the characters kind of get picked off one by one. They're just so forgettable. You could care less about any of them. And then like when they get in the plane wreck, one of them dies, and I honestly, like, I was looking for like them after, because they start, like, they decide like some of them are going to go and some of them are going to stay, and one of them's going to go, some of them are going to go for help, the other ones are like, no, we're staying behind. Everyone's decision making in this movie is mind-numbingly dumb. You're just sitting there, and people keep like doing the wrong things, but then trying to like play it off like, no, it's not a big deal. Like, I went the wrong way, like whatever. Like, but then the other people are questioning them, and it's like, dude, we're gonna die if I don't trust you. And it's like, you gotta trust me. It's like, but we already went the wrong way. And it's like, no, forget this. And then someone like takes a gun from someone and they barely even try. Like, the lack of emotion in a lot of people in scenes where there should be a lot of emotion. But getting back to the person who died in the plane crash, I was seriously looking for her. And I was like, I don't understand what happened to her. And then it was later, they were like, you killed her. She died in your crash. You're a murderer. And I was like, wait, she's dead? Why was there no like reaction to her death? Did I miss that? And sometimes I watch these movies and I have to be like, am I so checked out from these movies that I just straight up miss scenes? Or are they not there? Like, I start to have to question myself. But when movies, God, bad movies are so fucking hard to focus on. Like, when your characters just have nothing to them, and you're like 30 minutes in, and little like quick cut scenes happen that you kind of blink and you miss them, or you like look down at your phone because someone texts you really quick and you like chat back with them. You try to be as quick about it as you can because you're like, I gotta review this fucking thing, I gotta pay attention. But God, it's so easy to get distracted from movies like this, because like the last scene in this movie is supposed to be the big emotional thing where the characters have their arc and whatever, and it's like so like, it's so unearned. Like, throughout the movie, I know what they're going for, but as I said, this is just like a copy and paste character that you don't have any actual characterization that makes them feel like a tangible, living, breathing human that exists, right? Like, that this is an actor playing a character, and that's how it feels the whole time. They're never selling me that this person exists within this world and that I should care about them. It never happens throughout the entire film with any single character. The thrilling scenes are as dead as humanly possible. There's no excitement. There's one death that did surprise me in the moment for like 1 second, but I pretty much disconnected 2 seconds later, because then how characters were reacting and the things that they were doing around that scene, I was just like, oh, this is so convenient. This is so silly. And then the very end, I think this is supposed to be some kind of like religious movie, which is fine. I mean, I'll call out religious propaganda when I see it. This just felt like, people have their beliefs, and, I don't have a problem with it. It just kind of surprised me, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess that's what happened then. All right, we're moving on, and it's over. Okay, that was the movie. Okay, I don't give a shit. Like, that's how I felt. I just was so blank-faced through this whole movie. Just could not care less. When people die, it just doesn't feel like anything really happened. Even though they're trying to sell it like it did. I don't know. There's no connection to anyone. That's the problem. That's the biggest issue with this movie, outside of the fact that everything's like green screened with the lions, and that there's no thrilling aspects to it. Like, I've watched a lot of these man versus nature movies. And you can have a much smaller cast, you can have a smaller budget, you can have lesser known actors, And you can have way more thrills, way more excitement, way more connection to the characters. And look at the movie Burning Bright, about a woman and her like autistic brother, I think is what it was. I haven't seen it in years, but they're trapped in a house with a Bengal tiger during a hurricane, and they're like boarded inside with it because someone's like trying to get them killed. And so she has to like maneuver her way through the house and away from the threat that's locked in there with them while trying to take care of someone who can't take care of themselves. That movie adds a lot of depth. It adds a lot of character development. It adds a lot of tension. And that's just a smarter film and a better executed film all around. But yeah, man versus nature movies. Crawl recently by Alexander Aja, which just got a sequel announcement. Aja's returning, which is awesome. Movies like that, they know how to build tension. There's this lingering presence of like, is something going to come out and attack these people that I've really grown to care about, like the father and the daughter in that movie, Kyla Scardiolino, so however the fuck he's their name, and Barry Pepper, so good together, they have such chemistry. I really care about like the like relationship building between them. She was a swimmer and he pushed her too hard as a kid, and now they've kind of have an estranged relationship, and she's trying to rebuild that relationship, and she's got the relationship with her sister on her phone. You really care, and the way that the stalking scenes happen with the gators in it and all that stuff is so good. You watch a movie like this and you're like, none of that's here, zero of it. I don't care about the characters, none of the thrills work. Everything feels flat, everything feels so obvious. It's just such a lame attempt at a movie like this. This is such a poor film, and it sucks because you have competent actors, you seem to have an okay budget, you have good equipment, the script, the direction, that's the issue, right? You got to get a better director, you got to get a better script. That's all there is to it. So that's it. Definitely don't check it out. Let me know. Bye.